I would call it the most grueling mile hike you can do.
You can come out here and for free, you go and you can totally destroy yourself in an hour.
In an official capacity, I have hiked to the top of the incline multiple times.
I don't know if I even like the incline. Every time I get to this point at the bottom of the incline and I look up at that 2,100 vertical feet, I just think to myself, what am I doing here?
Everybody looking, you the talk all over town.
It's almost like an addiction, you know you shouldn't smoke, but you smoke. In this case, it's, you shouldn't get your heart rate up to 180, but you do anyway. And I think a lot of people have that love-hate relationship with it. So I don't like the incline, but I love the incline, and so I come back every week, once a week, rain, snow, doesn't matter, I'm here.
Still ain't right for that man to get on top of you. That boy to love you, no.
My name is Dave Phillips, and I write the outdoor section of the Colorado Springs Gazette.
Jeff Hovermail, and I work with U.S. Forest Service.
Sure, my name is Scott Hinty. I'm a Colorado Springs City Councilman. I represent District 1, which is the northwest quadrant of Colorado Springs.
The incline has actually had a couple different uses over the years. It was originally put in, and not many people know this, to put in a big iron pipeline.
What initiated the footprint of the incline was installation of a water transmission pipeline to serve the greater community to transfer water from the south slope of Pikes Peak, as well as provide a water source to the hydro plant in Manitou Springs. And that all took place in 1906.
After that was done, these tracks were still sitting here, and some entrepreneur said, hey, I bet I can charge people a nickel to take them up there. And so they did, and they did for almost 100 years. I can remember as a kid riding up this thing, and there's a little gift shop at the top, and you get out and they take your picture. And
the Forest Service did convey an additional easement in 1914 for the incline to be converted to a tourist attraction. And then in 1915 there was another easement that was conveyed to, at that time, what was known as the Mount Manitou Park and Incline Railway Company. They were issued in 1915 an easement for the station grounds and picnic area, which would have been located at the top of the incline.
And there was a building at the very top. Matter of fact, when you go to the top of the incline now, you can still see the old foundations for it.
No more good time, yeah, I pray. Place the stones at my head and feet and tell them all that I'm gone to sleep.
the owners also owned the Cog Railway, which is right across the street, and they realized they were essentially in competition with themselves. And so, long story short, in the early 1990s, they tore it out.
So beginning in 1992 through the fall of 1993, the Forest Service coordinated with Pikes Peak Railway Company to remove the majority of the buildings and improvements, do some site stabilization and restoration.
So, hey, don't worry, you won't get in our way.
Walk right past.
Yeah, I don't want to be on TV. We're doing something illegal.
Well, you know, it could be legitimate any week now.
Okay, good.
Oh, that would be great.
We'll see. They tell me they're just this close to signing the papers. first time that anyone did any sort of organized thing that we can recognize as climbing of the incline was undoubtedly Matt Carpenter, who's a local trail runner, and this group he formed that they called the Incline Club. And then it really started to snowball. I can't say when it became this way, but I started working for the Colorado Springs Gazette in 2003. And when I started covering this as a news story and not just something that I did recreationally, what I really started to notice is that pretty much the entire spectrum of the Colorado Springs population was here doing the incline. On any day you could come here and you might find a group of Special Forces guys from Fort Carson here, at the same time that you had some stay-at-home moms who had come out, at the same time that you have a Olympic triathlete. It was just all over the map. And that's the interesting thing about the incline is no matter, it's infinitely hard, but it's never easy.
And my favorite anecdote about it being tough is one time my wife and I were doing the incline. It was one morning during the summer, and it was a beautiful day, and we'd started off about 6:30 or so. And there was a group of maybe 40 or 50 or 60 troops from Fort Carson that were doing it. And these kids were significantly less than half my wife's and mine age. And some of these kids were in great shape, and they did great, but a lot of them, they were just huffing and puffing up that trail, and and they were really struggling. And it was obvious, I think, almost to a man, that it was the first time any of them had gone up the incline. And we finally got to the top. They're up there breathing, they're waiting for their friends who are still straggled out along the rest of the trail. And one of them kind of says to the group as a whole, he says, "That is the toughest thing I ever did." And I looked at him and I said, "I thought Iraq would have been tougher." He says, "This was tougher than Iraq."
People are just, they're there, they're staring at the ground, they're suffering. But the cool thing is there's sort of a camaraderie in that, Everybody's friendly on the incline.
How you doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
Good.
How are you guys?
Well, I don't know about good, but probably.
How you doing? Good.
Unfortunately, and this is one of the things I want to correct, I think there's parts of the trail that are somewhat dangerous. There's old parts of pipes that are there that are jagged. There's ties that have come loose. There's loose gravel along there in places.
Since the incline is an unofficial trail, an illegal trail, there's an unofficial illegal group of volunteers that keep it up. And the funny thing is these guys are doctors and mailmen, and I even think there's a judge in there. But they love this thing. They're these sort of type A, let's solve problems type of people. And so when they saw it falling apart, they all sort of came together without any sort of organization, just found each other and, brought tools. And these are guys that spend countless hours up here all the time fixing this place up. If we didn't have them, it would be gone by now.